You know what? I think I slightly understand how Alex feels now. When we had a little setup going first, I don't know why I decided to change it with, put the lights dark and then this light turns on because it messed with the flow that we had before.
Yep. Don't fix what ain't broke. Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of V-Time, episode 1. Oh, sorry, we're not in the ones anymore. We're in the 207s.
No, yeah, we are 207.
Oh, fuck. This episode is jam-packed. We not only have a full ride line that honestly, either the deck I was playing is not complete, or this has potential to go meta, and a lot of support cards for the quick start decks, as well as some other nitty-gritty stuff here and there.
That is very true.
So,
Oh yes, package for Mr. Top Deck Heroes.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Top Deck Heroes. Mr. Top Deck Heroes, package. Man, another one? What is with this guy? Mr. Top Deck Heroes.
Oh,
Again.
Melody again.
Mr. Top Deck Heroes.
Oh,
package.
yes.
Oh God, thank you, that was heavy. What's in that one?
Oh, trading cards.
Cards. Was every one of them cards?
Yeah.
How can you afford that?
Oh, that's interesting you say that. I got it from this wonderful bit.
secret.
Man, these people are crazy.
It's no secret. 50 cards. Use code TD Heroes for a discount.
Without further ado, let's go just straight to the road and let's start off with the normal, because we've noticed this trend happening. Every single nation will be getting two orders, a Blitz Order and a normal order, both that cost Energy Blast 2. And Ketter's turn is with a Blitz Order, Heavenly Bright. It's a grade 2 Blitz Order that says play this with Energy Blast 2. Look at the top card of your deck and call it to Guardian Circle or put it on the top of the deck. If you called a card, the called unit gets shield 10k until the end of that battle.
Not bad. Not.
It's more.
It's
say
something.
80% of the time you're gonna actually use this to actually guard, because whatever you're calling off the top of the deck, be it a grade 3, at least it's 10k. Be it a grade 2 or grade 1, at least it's 15k. If you call a trigger, you got a 25k shield right there. However, I will say, for Energy Blast 2, discard a card from hand. If you see something like a heal trigger or over trigger on the top of the deck, you just leave it there and go, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, if it's like draw, crit, or front that people are running, I forget, do those activate even if you don't place it by hand, as long as it's placed by Guardian Circle?
As long as it's in the Guardian Circle, because they are continuous abilities. As long as they meet the condition of the circle they are in, they will gain the shield value.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, it's like, as long as it's not a heal or OT, I think most people are gonna use it, even if it's like a grade 3, it's getting on it's a 10k shield, it's something. But
exactly.
You're right, yeah, if a heal or no tail, at least I know if it's gonna be 1 damage, I can take it or something, and then bam, I just heal and
I can see one more instance where this thing, you would keep a card if it wasn't a heal or a T, where you would use this and then still hard guard from hand, because there's a card on top that's like a Persona Red, or that one piece you're missing in that turn.
True.
So I can see potential for this. I don't know if it's going to be played as much, but I can see potential for this.
Yeah, there's
moving on. There's more of these. Like I said, each nation is getting one.
cool. And this one is for the Dragon Empire. It's a grade 2 Blitz Order. Bond between human and dragon. Energy Blast 2. And if your opponent's Vanguard... Well, you have to play this if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. So, with that one. Choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 25k until the end of that battle.
That
That one's... I'm sorry, that's kind of like the most, fuck it, here's shield.
I mean, I can actually see play for this card. People run front triggers and other cards for shield value, because shield value is very important now, because we're getting to some bullshit numbers. Quick sidebar, we just finished recording a match between two Stride deck sets. It literally was a turn where my opponent goes, here's 30, 30, 50, 60, 70. And then I go back and go, okay, here's 30, 30, 70, 60, 60. It's just like, what the fuck are these numbers?
Welcome to Stride bullshit. I'm still a Stride hater.
Yeah, but my point for this is exactly that. 25k shield, those are the heal guardians. Those are the heal effects.
Mm-hmm. The only thing about it, it's a Blitz Order, so you can only use one. Well,
we'll get to that.
Unless you're Stochea. Unless we're Stochea.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We're getting to that in the new ride line that got revealed Tuesday as the Direful Doll Master Android ride line. This is a TCG original ride line, and it's around Stochea and it's around Blitz Orders, as some of you might have seen already the buyouts for the set 11 card. Holy shit, I think this deck took it to 11. I don't want to be biased because I got my ass handed to me by this deck. Spoiler alert.
Wait, that deck beat yours?
Shh, spoilers. But I'm getting Gandiva vibes out of this deck, in the sense of out of one set, just holy shit, this is working.
I mean, when I tested myself out, I was like, damn, this thing is fun. And
You'll
not
see
only
the
that,
video.
like it has customization. There are cards that I wouldn't play because Alex uses certain things, but so it's player preference. But yeah, it's just like there's certain things that just work, and I'm just like, damn, this is so fucking.
All
good.
I'll say about the video is, it's not a blowout. Yes, it's actually a decently close match. I think the reason the video is going to be very fun to watch for people is because Alex regained his power and I built a mansion out of certain materials I got. Enough said about that. I won't spoil that too much. Let's go into the ride line. Into Time of Happiness, Lascaria.
I would have said Lascaria.
Lascaria, tomato, potato.
It's a bug lady.
I don't know. It's a bug lady.
Oh, in some people's eyes, bug waifu.
Exactly. Nothing too revealing from the starter. So Hector, what does a grade 1 do? Let's get this ball rolling.
So the grade 1 is called Days of Training Lascaria. And, you know, she's a normal looking insect thing. Skill as auto. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 2 unit with Lascarian's card name, search your deck for up to one grade 2 or greater Blitz Order without the Regales piece, reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle your deck. That already tells you.
Immediate +1.
And that already tells you what this deck is going to be doing.
See, I'm actually really scared because this deck is plussing and deck fanning a little bit too much, because we go on to Oath upon Mother's Sword Lascaria. It's the grade 2 Ryland that says auto when this unit is rolled upon by a grade 3 card with Lascaria in its card name. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to one normal unit with Villano in its card name, or up to one Blitz Order from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So 2 on-ride effects that both deck fin and plus you to hand.
And not only that, the plus to the hand is really generic.
Yeah. And they both emphasize on Blitz Orders and Villano. And Hector, why is Villano very important? Or Villeno, or however you want to pronounce that.
Veleno. So the grade 3, the big boss lady, her name is Sword Princess of Dreamblade Lascaria Veleno. So the effect is continuous Vanguard. during your turn, if you have 3 or more units with Veleno in their card names, all our units with Veleno in their card name get plus 5k. If you have 5 or more and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus critical 1. Automatically right there, that's good. Second, auto Vanguard. At the end of the battle, your unit was attacked and was not hit. If you played a Blitz order that battle, draw a card, and if you did not countercharge turn, countercharge 1.
Oof.
This right here, instantly you get the vibes of Sienna, but this one doesn't care about your opponent besides if your opponent is a grade 3, so you get a double crit. That's really the only thing it cares about.
So on paper, it doesn't sound that threatening.
Yeah,
There's
it doesn't sound that threatening on paper.
There's one thing you gotta understand though. Yes, there's more Velanos. You're gonna get to that condition. You're gonna help that. It's one thing that both Gandiva and actually even Celeron did really well. And that's the fact that you can be on grade 3 while your opponent's at grade 2. And because you just filled your board, you basically have made a pseudo persona right turn.
Essentially, yes.
So with a full board, columns, let's say 10 and 8s, right? Grade 2s, grade 1s, the staples. Those are already 28k just because they exist on board. So yeah, the numbers are there, which is the bullshit part. But the secondary ability is the whole Blitz Order, draw, countercharge. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, you can only play 1 Blitz Order a turn, and the Vanguard doesn't change that rule. Don't you worry, apparently the Blitz Order itself does, because we have... Oof. 1 sec.
Effercent.
Thank you. Efferson's Shadow Dream Blade. It's the grade 2 Blitz Order common Energy Blast 2 that every nation's getting, but this one's tied to specifically the ride line and the deck archetype, or benefits that deck archetype the most. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, it benefits this archetype the most, but it's generic enough.
Exactly. We got play this with Energy Blast 2, choose a unit being attacked, and it gets power 20k until the end of that battle. You can play 1 more Blitz Order this turn. When you play this card, the number you can play increases. So now we finally have a way to play multiple Blitz Orders in a turn. And in a deck that once you play a Blitz Order and successfully guard, you draw a card. So you net back a card or potentially a Blitz Order.
To confirm this, if you play this one, can you play another one of this one and activate a 3rd Blitz Order?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is not saying... This is not like the Brent Gate cycle card we got back in set 10 where it says the number of set orders you can play this turn increases by 1. It's not saying that the number you can play, it's saying you can play another one this turn.
That's what we needed to know. And that right there is,
Yeah, you can chain 4 of these and play 5 Blitz Orders in 1 turn.
Just keep
it will cost you 8 energy, but you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, if you notice, the Vanguard itself has no cost.
No.
The Vanguard itself has no cost. And when we get to
even
the
counter
other...
charges.
Yeah, and even counter charges, like only the rear guards are the one that require any kind of cost, but none of the rear guards, spoiler alert, have energy in any form of way. This is the only one that requires energy.
So I will also make it this clarification because it did come up in the video when we recorded. If you use multiple Blitz Orders on 1 attack, which you can because of this card. So you guard with this, Energy Blast 2, and then use another Blitz Order because you can now. Just because you use multiple Blitz Orders does not mean you draw multiple cards for that battle. The way the Vanguard's ability works is at the end of that battle, if you played a Blitz Order and the attack did not hit, you draw a card. So just because you played multiple Blitz Orders for 1 attack does not mean you're going to draw multiple cards. You'll still only draw 1.
Yeah, which, that's if you need more guard, just use the Blitz Order first, use their trigger or something else to shield, and then save your Blitz Order for the next attack. Again, and then
see, I completely agree, but in certain scenarios, Alex did not have a choice.
Fair enough.
All right, moving on. Hector alluded to this perfectly. There's a couple support cards. The first one we're going to look at is the Grade 1, which in my opinion should have been the highest rarity for this deck.
Oh, 100%.
I know the other card we're going to talk about is basically the attack force, but damn, without this card, this deck would not be as bullshitted as is.
So Grade 1, it's a AK obviously. It's called Veleno Famiglia Fiore. I don't know how to say that. Anyways,
it's a lot of Italian.
Yeah, I'm like, it's weird for me if you're like Italians. But anyways, auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with Lascaria in its card name, cost, counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 1 card with Veleno in its card name, or up to 1 Blitz Order from among them, reveal it and put it in your hand and shuffle the deck. The other skill, continuous rearguard during your turn. If you have a Vanguard with Lascario in its card name, this unit gets plus 2k. So this thing is automatically a 10k booster at all times.
15k booster.
By itself, what I meant, yes. But obviously, if you meet the conditions for the main grade 3 Lascaria, then yes, 15k booster.
I want to just lift the curtain here. You have 15, well, if you call this 14, but there's 15 Velenos in your deck. And there's a minimum of 4 of the Blitz Order we talked about, and you can play more Blitz Orders because of that other one. This thing will almost never miss.
100% usually would never miss.
So you're selectively deck fitting and plussing to hand. Fuck. And this can have Persona rights, by the way.
It does. Yeah, it's anything.
Like, and on top of that, it's not even placed from hand. It's placed on rear guard, period.
Like, this card is, like, so good.
It's insane. The amount of deck fin this card provides. And it doesn't stop there, because we got to Veleno Famiglia Melial. Ugh. She's a grade 2 common, 10k power. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard other than during the battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Lascaria in its card name, discard a card from hand, choose a card with different card name from this unit from your drop, and call it to rearguard if it's a grade 3 or less unit card with Veleno in its card name, and put it into your hand if it's a Blitz Order. What the fuck?
It's a really good 1-for-1 trade.
It's not even a 1-for-1 trade. It is a call, ditch, call grade 1, counterblast, put a card back into my hand. I just made 2 units on the board, 0 in hand, and deck finned 1 for 1 CB. The fuck? Or even, yes, replace a card in my hand. Sure, but it's a Blitz Order that lets me play more Blitz Orders.
It's a Blitz Order that blitz more Orders, or it gets back your multi-attacker, which we're about to see next.
This covered the yes, the multi. Does this really need multi-attack?
So, the multi-attacker, it's a grade 3, 13k. Veleno Caporigime. I don't know. I don't fuck with it. Caporigime. Erofus. I don't want to say that. Auto rearguard. Once returned at the end of the battle, your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Lascario and his card name attacked. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counterblast 1, stand this unit, and if you have 3 or more units of Veleno in its card name, this unit gets plus 5k until the end of the turn.
Why is this a 23k attacker on the second swing on its own? Why is this an 18k attacker on the first swing at all? Why is this a... Jesus fucking Christ. It really does get some bullshit numbers.
It does, and I like the fact that this is at the end of the battle, so you can choose whether or not it's like your opponent, the opponent, like they take it whether they're not, and then they get a defensive. Oh, okay, cool. I don't have to waste my CB to send it for no fucking reason. So,
I'll paint the most fucking relevant picture that I've ever experienced. Vanguard, no booster behind the Vanguard. Grade 1, grade 3, grade 3, right?
Yeah.
That's 18, 18, which are small numbers, but also awkward numbers, so you feel like you're wasting shield on them.
That's what I constantly tell you.
followed by an 18 double critical. So you have a choice of taking 18s or not guarding 18s, but then you have a double critical Vanguard swinging at you. So this awkward thing in the early attacks happens, and then Rip triggers not. I don't know. It only has Twin Drive, but at the same time it deck fins a shit ton. They restand, gain 5k, and now you're staring down the barrel of 38 and 38 without triggers. So it restands, gains 5k, becomes a 23, right?
Yeah.
And it's boosted by a 15k grade 1.
True. The way I was also thinking of it, think of like this. You attack with this boosted, the whole column is a, without Persona Ride, is a 33. And then your Vanguard attacks.
But then it restands, it only becomes a 23.
Correct.
Trust me, it was way more annoying to take. It's easier to justify yourself to guard the early 3 attacks and then take the big ones. But at the same time, it puts you in this awkward position where you're in your opponent's grasp, depending on what decks you play. Where because if you guard this way and you need to take a damage for your own effects, they can deny you or they can control. And it just becomes hard. It becomes even harder whenever you guard the first 3 early attacks and hope, but then they rip triggers. And since we're at the end of the reveals and this is it for Villano, I will tell you one tech option that is fucking bullshit in this deck.
Is it talking about the buyout card?
I'm talking about Nectar. Fuck the buyout card. The buyout card is a utility card.
It's a utility. It's useful, but it's not necessary.
It is useful. It is definitely not necessary. It is fucking annoying. Because the buyout card we're talking about, I forgot its name. It's a grade 2 that came from set 11. Its ability is at the end of battle that it attacked, counterblast 1, bind it, search your deck for a Blitz Order and add it to hand. If you have a Blitz Order in your drop, you can search your deck for a normal order and add it to hand. But the problem is it also has the first ability that says when it attacks Soul Blast 1, if you have a Blitz Order in your drop zone, it gains 10k, so it's a 20k attacker on top of that. So it fits really well in the fucking deck, just to swing.
It's the set 11 Stokeia, order Blitz Order 10k extra booster.
Exactly.
It's hallucination, hallucinatory morpho.
Exactly. Now, what I'm very much, I won't say pissed, but holy shit. Nectar in this deck works phenomenally because if you get to 15 cards and drop, which is honestly not hard, the amount of drawing you're doing and the amount of guarding you're doing, you can get to 15 very easily. You put 15k power or more on this grade 3 and a critical. So now you have a 33k grade 3 swinging for double crit that will be restanding and becoming like a 48. That is not counting the fact that they might have Persona Road. This deck becomes very dangerous very fast on top of having just insane defense. Because you can't forget, the Blitz Order is a 20k. That's already a front trigger, and we already know how good front triggers are as shield value. On top of that, when you play the Blitz Order, you draw immediately. So you get to potentially put down more guards from the draws you got because you played Blitz Order.
It's not immediately. It's if the Vanguard it has to not.
Oh, you're correct. I did misspoke. I did misspeak there. It has to guard.
Yeah, but it has to. It has to not hit the effect.
Yeah, to that point, you just get more shield value for the next attack.
Yeah.
My point being, it's got an amazing shield value. It's got survivability, and anytime you guard, like if an attack is guarded with one Blitz Order, especially the 20k Blitz Order, you basically drew a card for free and not minus in hand at all.
And then there's other nice, good defensive Blitz Orders. Alex played a different one. I forgot what it does.
It's
I know what it is.
Gold Dragon.
Yeah, something placement of sins. There's that one.
It's Soul Blast 1. It's honestly a really good one because it's Soul Blast 1, draw a card, which is already good for the deck because if you also guard, you can draw another card. But it all gains 5k shield value for every different order in your drop zone.
So minimum 5k, sometimes majority of the time it's usually about 10k, and
exactly
maybe even 50.
And it can be at 15.
They can't be at 15. Then there's the other one. It's a grade 2 something.
Ghost Chase.
No, not Ghostface. There's that one. Ghostface is 2, but there's another. It's a grade
Ghost
2.
Chase.
Ghost Chase. It's a grade 2. You Soul Blast 1, and you get 15k. But if you have a Blitz Order in the drop zone, it gets 25k.
Yeah.
So you have options if you want just the full-on pure defensive, or if you want more draw with a little bit more, you know, a little bit less defensive but more utility.
Exactly.
So you have options.
So look forward to this gameplay. I think after this V-Time, it'll be coming out first. So that's going to be a fun time all around. But until then, we got to continue here on V-Time and go to the next card, which is the Cycle card for Lyrical now. And with this one, we have all of them. So we got Dazzle, Bubble, Paradise, Persea. Simple, straightforward. First effect, like always, auto when this unit is put on Guardian Circle from hand or discarded from hand while riding for the right deck. Counter Blast 1 or Energy Blast 3 to draw a card. This is where it becomes spicy. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you persona or this turn, Counter Blast 1 or Energy Blast 3. Choose one of your units until the end of turn, it gets 5k. And if you chose a rearguard, return that unit to hand from rearguard at the end of the turn.
Even I know that's stupid. Even I know that's stupid.
Outside of the fucking combos you can do with this in almost any Lyrical deck, there's one thing to mention immediately. She can target herself. So you can make this a 15k attacker that will bounce back to your hand. So now you have a card in your hand that for Energy Blast 3 or Counter Blast 1, when you guard with it, you can draw a card. Outside of every other combo you can do with this in any Lyrical deck. Oh, shit. I don't think it's Keter levels of stupid, but it's fucking good.
Considering what Alex has been talking about the certain decks, I'm just like, well, it's some bullshit. It's some bullshit.
Exactly. Anyway, we gotta move on. We got some comments to talk about before we hit a lot of double rares. And Hector, we got more of the same old comments.
Oh, this one's for Dark States. It's the grade 2 Blitz Order. Fancy Night Parade. It reminds me of that one anime, Night Parade of 100 Demons. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, I know which one.
Yeah. The cost is obviously to play this with the Energy Blast 2. Choose a unit card without Sentinel other than Over from your soul and call it to Guardian Circle, and it gets shield plus 10k until the end of that battle. Doesn't allow you to call the OT or the Sentinel from your soul, so it's not fully busted.
They smart. They be smart.
They be smart, because otherwise this was like, oh, I got 8 fucking PGs right here.
So I feel like they're making all of these be basically around 20 to 25k shield for Energy Blast 2. Because you see the Dragon Empire one, yeah, your opponent has to be grade 3, but it's a 25k shield. You see the Valana one, it's just a fucking 20k shield as well as play a Blitz Order, which I think is a little bit busted for 2 energy. Then you see the Keter one,
100%.
It's a 10k shield, but you can potentially make it a 25 by putting a trigger down. And then you see this thing, which is the same thing. Like if you have a trigger in your soul, call it out. Here's a 25k shield for Energy Blast 2.
Well, like whatever you need. So,
not bad, but most Darkseid's deck, you don't want to touch the soul unless you have to.
Most of them, yeah.
Moving on to the normal order section of those comments.
You know what I was thinking of? Omni Gruzio, the grade 1 that goes into soul. If you have because when you search the top 3 for not top 3 for a grade 3 in your top deck, it's all counts on the Guardian Circle. Gets plus 15k or 10k shield. I forget.
Okay.
So call that out. Bam, 10k plus another 10k. It's nice to have extra shield. Like I just thought, like I don't play other Dark States, so that's the other one I play, and I just instantly thought of that one.
Well, we got to move on to the normal order section of the commons with the Energy Blast 2 cost, and this time for us to look at, we got today is Sports Day in the field. Very cute little normal order, but let's see what the effect does. Play this with Energy Blast 2. Choose one of your rear guards Until the end of turn, it gets auto rearguard. At the end of your turn, if the total number of attacks this turn is 4 or more, draw a card and 5k power, which overall isn't. It's aight.
Yeah, it's aight. It's a nice little, mini inlet maker.
It's basically just a ditch. It's basically ditch a card to later draw a card. So it's a weird form of cycle, but that also gains 5k power to a rearguard.
Yeah. It's
okay. The whole 4 attacks in, it's like, yeah, it's not hard.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't think there's any Stoicheia deck that can't get 4 attacks.
No. Unless they brick super hard, every single Stoicheia deck can get the 4 attacks. Either inherently or just through the effects they have.
Yep. Even Zorga.
Alright. Now we get to the fun section. Last week they announced that on the Thursday stream we're gonna finally see all 5 out of 6 support cards for the quick start decks, and they're all gonna be double rares. We already knew this fact. What we didn't know is how very similar and carbon copy they're gonna be between each other, but very also unique for the start deck. So Hector, start us off and let's see where the trends start.
So for this one, it is the Dragon Empire. It's a grade 3 13k Strafe Command Dragon. Its skill is auto. When this unit is placed on rear guard from hand, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Triumph Dragon and its card name, Counterblast 1, draw a card. Already really nice. You guys have a lot of draw power for that. And then the other skill, auto rearguard. When this unit attacks, costs Soul Blast 1. Until the end of the battle, this unit gets plus 5k. And if you Soul Blast a grade 3 greater card with Triumph Dragon as card name, for its cost, this unit gets plus critical 1. That's there's a couple of things that I can infer from this. Well, not infer, but yeah, like the first. So the first one obviously is the second part of the second skill, where if you Soul Blast a grade 3 or greater with Triumph Dragon's name for its cost, it gets the extra effect. So that is inherent to all of the cards. Get that out of there. The second thing that I see is that it says it's grade 3 or greater.
Let's not read into that.
It just kind of gives a little bit of implication.
I really don't want to read into that part, because usually they put that because they have effects and they try to premium proof it, because rearguard, say if you're grade 3 or greater Vanguard with this card name attacks, if this thing with grade 3 or greater and its card name attacks or does things with plays, yada yada yada, makes sense. Because they want to premium proof it, because people can stride on top of them and keep the name, so they want to use those effects still, yada yada yada. You're completely correct. The fact that it's saying if you Soul Blasted a grade 3 or greater card with Triumph Dragon is a very scary thought, so let's not even attempt to try to peer into it.
I'm just saying, the original start decks for Overdress got grade 4s, and this is the new quick start decks.
Let's not and never say we did, and I've never been serious about saying that sentence more than I am now.
But
on the better side, though, draw a card for place basically replaces itself from hand, and now your Triumph Dragon that before only had 3 attacks now has still only 3 attacks, but at least 2 of them can be double critical.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
After facing Fennel, whenever whenever all the units attacking just inherently have crits, it doesn't matter how many attacks there are, they're all dangerous. Actually, this brings me back to V-Era, actually. And do you remember Bull Spike?
No. Is that the Spike Brothers one?
Yeah. Basically, Bull Spike was a type of deck where you went Force 2, and you basically made the game state to your opponent where all of my attacks have double crit. I just need to hit you 3 times this game. That's it.
It sounds scary when you put it like that. I just need to hit you 3 times and you're done.
Exactly. That's the actual realization of whenever you sacrifice multi-attack for crits. You're not going to put as much pressure because people can potentially guard it easier PGs and all that. But at the same time, it's a scary thought when you just think, I get hit 3, maybe 4 times, and I lose the game.
It also makes him think, it's like, well, do I want to take this one? Because I need CB at the same time. It's closer to death.
Exactly. So, and whenever you're at 4 damage, it's like, I'm at 4 damage, and they're swinging with 2 CB. I can't take a filler damage. It makes you think.
Yeah.
So, moving on though, let's start seeing these trends and look at the Dark States one. Steam artist Trigon.
Tyrigon.
Thank you. It's also a grade 3, and it's got some different but similar abilities. It goes auto. When this unit is put from rearguard into soul, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Os largest in its card name, Soul Blast 2 cards with different card names from this card and draw a card. And an auto rearguard when this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, this unit gets power 5k until the end of that battle. If you Soul Blasted a grade 3 or greater card with Os largest in its card name, for this card it gets 15k instead of 5k.
I'm a little jealous
Not
about
bad.
that. I'm a little jealous of the 15k.
It's honestly not bad. The whole shtick for this is you gotta build that soul, because this card is basically a Soul Blast 3 on a stick. But you are playing Dark State, so soul charging should not be a problem.
Not one bit. Not with this.
The biggest thing here though is finding ways to put this unit from rearguard into soul. And at this current moment for Os largest, there's only one card that costs CB to do that. And there's not many other cards in the game that can actually even do that mid-battle phase. Just inherently in Dark States.
That isn't the Vanguard Reliant skill.
Well, the Vanguard doesn't even do that. The Vanguard is a purely just call from soul.
I'm just saying, like,
So the only way to activate its first ability is to actually have the grade 2 that also comes in this set.
yeah, I'm like saying, majority of the cards that put things from your field into your soul is usually the Vanguard, like Greedon, for example.
However, I do want to try one card out. If I remembered the effect correctly, I believe the card's effect was something along the lines of when this card is placed from soul to rearguard, you can counterblast 1, it gains 15k and card restrict. I need to double check that.
Oh, no.
Potential. However, the next card we're going to talk about, because we said not all of the quick start decks actually got support. One of the quick start decks is actually going to get support later with a showcase as well on Bushiroad's or Vanguard's official Japanese YouTube channel. So instead, they still revealed 6 cards, but we got a normal order for Dark States.
This one is the normal order from that set. It's grade 2 Affectionate Preparation. And the skill is just pay Energy Blast 2, choose one of your Vanguard, and it gets auto Vanguard once per turn. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose a card from your soul and call it to rearguard until the end of the turn. Which isn't bad.
Simple, straightforward.
But there's one deck that would love to abuse the fuck out of this.
Favernil.
That one and Greedon.
Oh shit, this could work. Oh, wait a minute.
That was the first deck I'm thinking. It's like, I mean, how many times is Greedon swinging? And you're gonna take one of those two. One
you're
of
putting
those.
incentive on your opponent. Oh shit, Hector, you might have. Fuck.
How did you not instantly think of this? Because I was just thinking, it's like Greedon usually has 2 to 3.
I always forget Greedon multi-attacks, alright? I forget Greedon's a multi-attack.
It's a Vanguard itself that multi-attacks. You know, you have to think about.
Oh, why'd you have to,
what do you
have to be a once per turn ability? Damn it.
Oh yeah, because if it would have been, if this would have had to have the once per turn, like it just come out every single time, busted, 100% busted.
Okay, so Favernil immediately came to mind, but you've made me now cook with Greedon a little bit too much in my head. I was actually planning to build a Greedon deck here in a bit. The OG one with the new stuff to try to see how it goes and try to make a stable version. You have just potentially pushed me off the ledge And I might I might be back on the bandwagon of trying to make 4 VG attack Greedon a thing.
So back to the glass cannon is what you're saying.
Good, sir. You try attacking into. You try survive. You try being on the receiving end of 4 Vanguard swings, each doing twin drive.
Fun. It's not very fun.
Just one of the dry checks in the early stages hits a crit, and it's like, oh fuck, this is dangerous.
I was like, shit.
Oh shit, this bandwagon's back on. Holy shit. Oh god. Okay, I'm gonna get to cooking on that, but we gotta move on to the rest of the double rares for the quick start decks. And we're gonna look at the the Berenge one, Swing by Dragon. This one will be a little bit familiar because its first ability is auto. When this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ostrom in its card name, counter +1 draw a card, just like the Dragon Empire one. And then the secondary ability is very tuned in with Ostrom's whole shtick because it says auto front row rearguard once per turn when your other unit stands by a card's ability, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets power 2k until the end of turn. If you Soul Blasted a grade 3 or greater card with Ostrom in its card name for this cost, stand this unit. So the quick start deck now has access to 5 attacks.
Which slowly and surely this is becoming more like a Nova Grappler deck. Like an old school Nova Grappler deck.
Yes, it is. Okay, just making something sure. The Blitz Order for Ostrom gives power, but only to units that are stood by Ostrom's ability. So this thing will not gain the power.
Don't try to break it.
You always try to break it, man. You always try to break it. All right. Now you try to break this.
We can't break it, but we sure can take fucking advantage of it. So this one is the Cater Sanctuary one, the grade 3 support for this. Viral Core Dragon. When this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, other than during the battle phase, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Sarsfield in its card name, counter +1, look at top power 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit random, call it a rearguard and shuffle the deck. Instant. Beautiful. Beautiful right there. Secondary skill, auto rearguard. When this unit, once per turn, when this unit attacks, cost Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 5k at the end of that battle. If you Soul Blast a grade 3 or greater card with Service on its card name, for its cost, counter charge 1 or energy charge 3.
So Hector, I'm gonna do a real quick meme here. So you on play CB1 get to look at top 5, deck fin an appropriate card and get a free unit on the board, while Dragon Empire, Dark States, and Brentgate are Counter Blast, Soul Blast, whatever, just draw a card. How does this seem fair?
It's very fair.
Our secondary abilities are Soul Blast the specific unit to get an ability benefit. You not only get an ability benefit, but you also get a resource back? How is this fair? Are we going back into Keter bias?
I mean, it seems like that, but when you have other effects that are a little bit more dangerous in certain terms, you know, this essentially makes it easier for us to build a board. Like on, you know, obviously a lot of this, if not, I think all of the secondary effects for these double rares, you have to wait until your first Persona ride. Because unless you figure out some way to soul charge an extra grade 3 copy into the soul, like that's how it's gonna work.
Yeah. So I'll lift the curtain here a little bit. Sure, other decks have threat either in multi-attack, power, crits, whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, though, Vanguard is very much in the current state of ripping triggers wins games.
100%.
So whenever effects just go, yeah, deck fin, and more deck fin, it's kind of bullshit. Because the other ones they can CB1 draw a card and draw a trigger. You CB1 look at top 5, unless all 5 are triggers, you're not getting a trigger.
I can choose whatever I want. And then when you think back to the Persona Ride Grade 1, when you Counterblast, look at top 5 and choose something, and then it gets 10k for its own. Counterblast 1, call that. Counterblast one other one, call something else, that gets 10k. When this one attacks, you can either countercharge one, so you only pay Counterblast 1 for 3 cards on the field.
So I reiterate, how the fuck is this fair?
Well, if somebody decides to blow up my entire field, I at least get something from it.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the last one of these, and that is of course the lyrical one. Beloved girl that resonates on hit, Respino. She's a grade 3 for the quick start decks. Her ability, guess what it is? When this unit is returned from rearguard to hand, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Merlin in his card name, counterblast 1 and draw a card. Now look at top 5, draw a card. And then her other ability is auto rearguard. When this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets power 5k until the end of that battle. If you Soul Blast a grade 3 card with Merlin in its card name, it gets 15k instead of 5.
I mean, it's kind of funny how most of the effects have, like, even for this one, you have to not only call to the field, it does nothing on the field for that first turn, and then you have to return it back. That's when you get the effects off, and I just call Counterblast, look top 5, get something cool.
I will say this card probably has one of the better longevities, because sure, there is a comment against 10k and becomes a 20k, but 20k honestly does nothing because it is the same threshold number as a 18k. So it's the same shield value actually guards it. So she has actually better longevity because you can attack with her, Soul Blast 1, gain 5k, so making an 18k attacker, bounce her in her hand, Counterblast 1, draw a card, pull her back, and then have a 28k attacker out of her instead of the grade 2 that the quick start deck we did in the last time. So she does have longevity, and then if you did Persona Ride, you Soul Blast a grade 3, all of a sudden she's got, like, she can, look at this one, on a Persona Ride turn. This card alone in Merlin can attack for, doing math real quick, 38 on her own, right?
Yeah.
Gets bounced the hand, Counterblast 1 draws a card, gets called back, and on the second swing, swings for 38 again.
That is pretty good. That's good attack like that.
So overall, these new double rare support cards for the quick start decks are not bad. They're very interesting. Yes, we will be testing the quick start decks again. Yes, there will not be any restrictions outside of using these grade 3 double rares and the Vanguards themselves. There will be full reign to use any and all cards from Overdress to make those decks as functional as possible. So I can't wait to see what we all cook up for those. But before we see those, we got to finish this off with some surprising support. While you try to find that, I'm going to talk about Gravia support. She finally got some spotlight, and she got some Energy Blast cards. We got a double rare grade 1 for Gravia, and Gravia Midlar, and her ability is auto rearguard Guardian Circle. If your drop and order zone have a total of 3 meteor cards, this unit gets power 2k, making a 10k booster attacker, and shield 5k, making a 10k shield. So overall, not bad for some defense and offense. However, her second ability is Act Rearguard once per turn, cost Energy Blast 3. Choose up to 3 meteor cards with grade equal to or less than your Vanguard from your hand and put them into the order zone. If you put 2 or more cards, you may draw a card. Even I know that's not bad. If you get really meteor for it, which in that deck is actually decently easy to happen, you can basically chuck all those meteors into your order zone and then draw a card back. Anyway, there is one more Gravia support card, and Gravia Shiner. It's a grade 2 common for Gravia. Or yes. Yeah, Shiner. I know German.
Don't look at me for German.
So this effect is auto front row rearguard. It's a grade 2, by the way. Auto front row rearguard once per turn. When your meteor card is put from the order zone into drop, Soul Blast 1, look at the top card of your deck and put it on the top or bottom of the deck, and this unit gets 5k until the end of turn. Hector, do you know why this effect is actually really fucking good?
A little bit.
This effect is really fucking good because now when you attack with your Gravia and you do 5 meteors and you make triggers be double effects, you can use this to go, is there even a trigger on top? Yes, cool. Is there a trigger on top? No, cool. Put it on bottom. Let me get a better one.
You're essentially stacking.
Exactly. And in a deck where triggers are doubled, that is actually very potent.
Very dangerous.
Now, Gravia does need a lot of help. It's struggling with space, and luckily we did get an increase in 50 cards, but 4 more cards might not help, or might help. It's just about deck building right now and figuring out where Gravia even stands.
Yeah.
Because this support's cool, but I don't think it's exactly what it needed.
But I do like how they are supporting decks that haven't been supported in a while.
What's Alden?
Huh? Well, so I'm talking about Gravia and then Eugene.
And Greedon.
Eugene, Greedon, and what was the other one? What was the? Oh fuck! I was thinking
Kairi?
about one. No, not Kairi.
Kairi?
Not that one. There's another one.
Well, that's all the double rares we've seen that's important.
It was Gravia, Greedon,
Maggie?
Eugene, not Maggie. Fuck, was it Greedon? I don't know. I'll think about it later.
Anyways, moving on. Let's slowly wrap this up. As I mentioned, next week, reveals. So, we already know from the schedule that they announced, we're going to get a couple of extra reveals here and there. We know certain cards are coming at certain dates. For the next Tuesday stream, they'll be broadcasting Divine Z, looking back on episode 3, which we will be talking about here in a bit. And then previews of episode 4. And then revealing cards used by Akina. So we're finally going to see the full effect of Fated One of Miracles, Raziel.
Yes.
As for the Thursday stream, the Thursday stream is going to be revealing 6 cards used by now, including Fated One and Unparalleled Varga Dragas. So we're getting 2 Fated Ones in 1 week.
Which is beautiful.
On top of that, exactly. On top of all that, we also know that on certain dates in that week, we're also going to be getting certain card reveals. For example, we know that on January 31st, we're not only going to see the double rare grade 3 for the quick start deck, Stoicheia, but also a new Greedon support card. And then on February 5th, we're going to see Velstra's triple rare grade 2, which I'll tell you right now, the deck apparently really needs that puzzle piece. As well as a normal order Energy Blast 2 for Lyrical. So a lot of cool things to look forward to in the future. And I'm glad that the Stoicheia one's getting revealed later because of other reasons. Moving on. Hector, last week we talked about dates for Bushiroad Springfest, since we know them for both America and Europe, and some locations for Asia Oceania, but not dates yet. We didn't know, though, tournament structure, but now we do, because some of them already have it. And if this follows suits for everybody, it looks like that Cardfight Vanguard team standard and Shadowverse Evolve team standard will be on day 1, while Vanguard Tri-Regional and White Swords teams will be on day 2.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either. Because they had to put Vanguards on different days, definitely.
Yeah.
White Swords has historically always been on Sundays. So I guess Shadowverse only made sense to be put on a day 1, Saturday. However, I will say both me and Lon are a bit saddened because we did want to try entering Shadowverse teams.
I mean, in Japan, Weiss Wars is a huge game, 100%.
Yes.
While here in America, I can't say for Europe, Weiss Wars isn't as big as like Vanguard.
You got it. When we went to Dula last BCS a few months ago.
Yeah.
The amount of Vanguard players, there was 2/3 of that in Weiss Wars.
Okay, so it's not as bad.
No, there's actually a decent crowd in America for Weiss Wars, I gotta admit. And there is actually a bigger crowd potentially in Europe because the game thrives here apparently more. Who knows? But it's still a game that actually does thrive. So, yeah. I'm gonna very interested to see Shadowverse evolve, how that turns out. And then, you know, standard and tri-regional, and huzzah, we're gonna go to Dula and we're gonna have fun and we're gonna see what happens. Just a reminder one more time for people that might not have heard it last week. Dula, Atlanta, where we will be going, set 1 of DZ will not be legal.
It will not be legal until I believe it is the
New York the week after. Where I am trying to go.
To New York. I wonder how many people are going to join. I might actually join for that one.
All right, moving on. We only got 2 more bits of information to 3-ish. That is the fact that with February rolling in, February shop promos are also rolling in, and we're getting a whole new set of shop promos from Pale Moon and Norkami for V, and then all of these goodies for standard.
Which is nice. Still kind of sad about certain things.
The Alden one is amazing. The Maggie one is crucial.
We didn't need another Brachio Force. Yeah. I don't even know what the other grade 2 or grade 1 from Bread and Stoy do. Not Stoy, but Dark States.
We got the Alden multi-attacker. We got the Stoicheia, Maggie, Mask, Interceptor, Countercharger, fucking bonkers card. We got Mewtwo's grade 2 set order, which is honestly really good because it stuns your opponent's rear guards as well as gives 10k to a unit, so it just is an amazing utility card. Brachiosaurus got a new alt art reprint. I forgot her name, but she's basically on attack, Soul Charge 1 for Dark States. The monster that the attack get boosted if it hits Counter Charge got reprinted and got a new alternate art. So EVA players, if you want that, cool. And then Leonorn's also bonkers card.
Absolutely, as well definitely needed.
Yup, as well as both normal orders for Chronojet and Messiah that actually do upgrade the decks very decently. I recently used the new Messiah order. Holy shit. It actually is it's good. Just being able to, you got rid of my arrestor? Well, guess who's back?
Guess who's back?
On top of locking 2 of your rear guards and binding 2 rear guards.
Yeah, that is quite dumb.
So Hector, you want to hear a quick spoiler on that topic?
Sure.
I started my turn with 3 cards in hand. I draw check 3. And then at the end of my turn, I proceeded to Soul Blast 6 to draw 6.
Jesus Christ. That is disgusting.
Just plus 9 in one turn. Why not?
That is just disgusting.
And that was also a 5 attack turn, by the way. All right. All that aside, it's time for some speculation. Episode 3 of the anime dropped, and we got to see 2 of the fated ones actually fight it out and get to see some preview of their effects. So what we could gather from the episode is the fact for Raziel that he has a couple of abilities. His first ability apparently is that it's on attack, call 2 cards from your drop with a total grade less than or equal to the number of cards in your damage zone. So if you have 4, you can call 2 grade 2s or a grade 1 and a grade 3, or you can call a grade 3 and a grade 0, yada yada yada, make combos. If you have 5, you can call a grade 3 and a grade 2, just do math.
Yeah.
However, apparently his divine skill is return all criticals from your drop to your deck, more likely shuffle. It gains drive +1, and until the end of next turn, if you check a 6 damage trigger, just a period, a trigger, you heal 1 damage. And this is assumed to work only once. It's not like every trigger you hit, it's a heal trigger now.
I mean, if it was for that one turn, it would be absolutely amazing. Because imagine you just put back 8 crits and then, you know,
You
top
wouldn't
6
die,
card.
man. You just wouldn't die.
Exactly. For one turn, I think that would be fair.
In a 5 attack deck, no.
Against some bullshit that can pull 7 attacks? 6 or
Like
7
who?
attacks? I don't know. There's like, Vargas can pull off 6 attacks.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll
But
get to that.
We'll get to that. A couple more
Shiranu can pull off, what, 7 attacks?
Yeah, but they're not that big.
It's still fucking 7 attacks. Doesn't matter how many, you know, still 7 attacks.
Regardless. We also got a couple of other cards that were leaked in rearguards. Apparently, Patrol of Gust Ventesta is a ride line grade 1 that when rode upon calls it to rearguard. So not bad, you get a free unit. Not a great at
Curious if that is the only skill or if it's the secondary skill, because you know how some cards we have now, they have effect if you did.
It might have a rearguard effect that does something else, correct, yes.
Yeah, so we don't know if it's that's the whole thing just calls itself out. Feels a little weak.
Exactly, these are the effects that we know of from what we've seen in the episode. Knight of Great Advance Ascensure is the ride line grade 2. Apparently, when rode upon, call a card from your drop. So basically, ditch a card you want to call.
Yeah.
And then we have Knight of Gentle Beauty Nobia. It calls a card from the top 3, which is also bullshit, and on attack 10k with unknown conditions or costs.
That one was...
So you got a deck fiddling board presence beat stick. Why?
I mean,
and
I saw that.
one,
Damn, that was good.
Yeah. And then last but not least, apparently Gigantech Crusher on plays 15k with because of unknown costs or conditions. I have a inkling that Raziel might be a type of limit break deck.
100%. In not in the sense of you need a certain amount of damage, maybe, but definitely in the terms of if it's just equal to the amount of damage you do. So if you damage some of your opponents and they only have 1, they can only call a grade 1 and that's grade 0. And that's sometimes that's good, sometimes bad. You put them at 3, then they can call a grade 2 and a grade 1, or a grade 1 and a grade 0. Obviously, if you put them at 4, they, like you said, grade 1 and grade 2, grade 2s, or a grade 3 and a grade 1. So you have something to play with. Though I don't know if it's the whole you need to have a certain amount of if it's you need a certain amount of damage, then that feels a little riskier.
I have honestly a potential feeling that some of these power effects might be tied to damage. Like if you have 3 cards in damage, gain 15k power.
That's a possibility. That one I didn't.
We don't know. We don't know. We're gonna see it literally in about 3 days. So no more information then. But that was just one of the faded ones from the episode. We got a second one. And the other one is Vergis. And apparently, from the effects we've seen on screen, on attack, retire both players' front rows. And it gets 10k power, making it a 23k attacker on its own. At the end of its battle, restand and drive -2. And apparently, Divine Skill, if opponent is at 4 or more damage, restand the second time with 2 extra drives. So this feels like a nail in the coffin effect.
I'm curious of like the divine skill. For example, if like you early rush them, you get them to 4, you attack first with you attack with your Vargas skill. Don't activate the main skill. Just go ahead and activate your divine skill to restand it.
So
You still
I'll stop you there. I will stop
that's
you
what
right
I said.
there.
I don't know how it works. It's like
I
you
will
want to
stop you right there. I had this conversation before we today already. I do not believe that you will be able to choose activating the divine skill first before the inherent ability of restanding. The reason I say this is because throughout Bushy's history, throughout Vanguard's history, all of our restanders were equivalent exchange. They either kept their drive checks but lost a shit ton of either rearguard, CB, or whatever you want, or they restood and lost drive checks. So there's always a caveat of restand and lose something in response. And on the same subject, the same can be said for multiple things that gain drive checks. A lot of the things that keep gaining drive checks usually don't restand. Or if they do gain a drive check, they restand and lose like 3 drive checks to make it fair. A good example is actually Fortia for Friends. She actually does gain a drive check, but she also loses 3 drive checks. So overall, she only does 4 drive checks like most restanders, like Greedon and such.
fair.
So, the concept of you being able to use first the divine skill and then the other skill would not only mean you have a restanding Vanguard that restands twice, it would also mean that your drive check pattern would be first attack drive check 2, second attack drive check 4, third attack drive check 2. So in 3 attacks you drive check 8. In what world does that seem not only a pattern but fair?
If you want to make the top meta deck, there you go.
At that point, I'm just questioning the episode of how. I honestly, I haven't watched the episode fully, so I actually don't know who won. But if
it was bullshit. Like looking at it, the one is the Miracle Raziel's the one because of the secondary miracle heal effect.
I'll make this opinion shortly then in a bit, but if the effect worked the way the whole 8 drive check thing, there was no way in shot that this deck would lose to Raziel ever.
Oh, 100%. Like even just looking at the matchup, it was, I don't know, you could argue that maybe because she was a skilled player, obviously, or whatever, but
That is
it
just
was
a
very
quick point.
yeah, like it was very clear that this Vargas deck was much stronger than Raziel's.
So I do want to criticize that about the anime, and like I said, I haven't watched the episode fully, so I'll give it a chance and watch it. I don't like the story plot of this man just now entered the game, has never played more than like 3 matches of Vanguard in a week, comes across someone who's trying to go all the way to the top, has probably played Vanguard for years.
Since she was a kid.
Exactly. And manages to bullshit his way into a win.
Literally his second game. As far as we can tell in the anime, that is literally his second game. He manages to beat somebody trying to go pro.
From a story perspective, that's a little bit like, all right. It's like, all right, I get it's the main character, but honestly, it would have been better story-driven plot if he actually lost and then got it better as the series progressed and then fought her again at the end and won.
Yeah, like when they said immediately from the beginning that if you lose, you're completely out, I was like, well, that's some bullshit because we're not going to get character growth, as you put. Like, it would have been if he lost. Now he's got something to look forward. They
honestly should have done a round robin. They honestly should have done every single one of them fights every single other one.
Yeah, that would have been like, that would have been perfect. Whoever has the highest points, you face off against at the final. If you lost the first time, which would have been like this, he lost the first time, he beats the rest of them. They both have the highest points, face up in the final, and then he beats her in that one.
All right, so with that out of the way, those grievances aired. That's actually been it. We don't have anything more to discuss. It's been a very eventful week, and the next week up to come is going to be even more eventful because a couple of things are happening. Not only all the cards we're going to be seeing, we're going to see the full Raziel deck, we're going to see the full Vargas deck. I doubt they're going to save any cards, extra support cards that are going to be like with the Velshred. Oh my fucking god, give me that Velshred card already. I need it. The deck is almost complete. But on top of all those reveals, me and Lana will be going to Japan, so we'll be at BCS Worlds. So everything is going on. Holy shit, next week's gonna be big.
Next week is gonna be big for you guys.
Alright, so with all that being said, we're gonna end this episode here. Thank you everybody so much for watching for 207 of V-Time. If you like the episode, please leave a like, share it with your friends, comment down below what you think about the divine skills of Vargas and Raziel. I will mention this right away. If these guys get divine skills like that, what happened to Velshred? Give me that triple rare. I want it to be good. But with all that being said, if you like the channel, subscribe, yada yada, become a member for some awesome perks. I've been Philip.
And I've been Hector.
And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Cease.
I'm not joking on that aspect. You see the fucking restand on Vargas. You see the Raziel bullshit heal. Velshred is literally just setup. It's good setup, and it's just setup.
Yeah.
That triple rare grade 2 needs to do something good.